What's up, everybody? My name's Trey. This is Denzel. Welcome back to Better Days Sports, number one place for sports news, education, and just hot takes worldwide. And on this edition of the podcast, we're actually be doing a mock NFL draft. First time coming at you. Screen sharing's going on. A lot of technology buzzing. Really excited for you to see this. But if you are somebody that's new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified every time we post a video. And leave a comment in the comment section down below of what you think of our draft picks and would we make it as NFL GMs. How this draft is going to work. Denzel's going to take care of the odd picks. I'm going to take care of the even picks. We'll talk about our picks a little bit. And let's just go ahead and get into it. With the number one pick, Denzel, who are you taking?
All right, so the Titans need a lot. 3-14 last year. Obviously, we know that a lot starts with the quarterback. They need a franchise guy. Levis didn't work out the way they thought it would. So, with that being said, let me take a look at the offensive picks we could do at QB. Oh, Cam Ward is nice now, but
Okay.
I wasn't the biggest fan of his.
Really? Okay.
Shador is nice, and we know he can do a lot with a little.
That is true. It's very true.
Outside of them two, it wouldn't make sense though to draft anybody else and reach. So I'm going Shador, number one pick.
Oh, okay. That's different. That's real
Going Shador.
different.
The reason why I'm
So
going Shador is simply because we know he's a guy that can handle the spotlight. Number one, we know while he may be not the most athletic quarterback, we know that he for sure has the skills to play quarterback. Number three, I think that his arm, while it may not have the most zip on the ball, he can make just about every throw you want him to make. So with those three things being said, I think he's number one, and I think he'll fit well in the Midwest climate that they play
okay, not exactly where I would have went with my number
in.
one pick, but I'm not
They need a
mad at it.
QB.
Now, I know they do, and I don't know if this is necessarily a super deep draft when it comes to
Yeah, man.
QBs and just like overwhelming talent. I think there's a lot of good players who could have long careers, but maybe not that overall superstar
Right,
talent that we're kind of used to
right.
seeing. Now, since I got the Browns at number two, the Browns are at an interesting spot. They kind of already gave the best player, Miles Garrett, the bag, which
Facts.
tells me they're kind of in win now mode, which means they also need a quarterback. And since you already took Shador, who I thought was going to be at number two, we're taking Cam
Okay.
Ward
Choosing the Cam Ward.
at number two. And simple reason. You gave Miles Garrett the bag, which tells me you're not starting a rebuild. It tells me you're trying to make a
Mm,
push and be good next
mm.
season. Cam Ward has all of the physical attributes to be a very competent NFL quarterback. Might be a little bit of a reach, but as you said, there's just not a lot of quarterbacks on here that you think can step in and immediately make a difference on the team. So we're taking Cam Ward at number two.
I definitely understand that, and I'm not mad at that. You know, they definitely need a quarterback really bad. Believe it or not, I don't dislike their offense. I just think that a quarterback would help polish a lot of different things on their offense so they can figure out what exactly they want to do moving forward. Do I think
Sure.
they'll be a 500 team with Cam Ward? No, but do I think they'll be competitive and sneak in some wins on there? Yeah, definitely. All right, moving on to the Giants. Another team, 3-14. My goodness. They have to fill out a lot. Again, this is another team that needs a QB, though. But again, the QB class isn't that deep this year. I don't think you go on a reach there. When it comes to offensive linemen, sure you could do that, but without having a franchise quarterback and we're trusting in Jameis already, it kind of would make sense to go offensive lineman here. instead of a defensive guy because I think we want to make neighbors happy as possible. So
Oh
just
yeah,
playing it safe, I think we are going to go tackle. Now, which tackle do we go with? Hmm.
it's a very good question.
Hmm, 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 hmm. I think the guy from Missouri, Am Am
Armanda.
Armand. Oh, I said Am. Excuse me, Armand. I think we go with Armand just simply because,
Okay.
from my understanding, he's well balanced. So I'm gonna go with Armand. But I see Will Campbell on the board too at top pick. So you know, I'm not mad at it if somebody says him as well. But that's just my choice.
Okay, so I think the Patriots are in like one of the best positions when it comes to their draft placement because there's a lot of good players that can be taken here, and they have a lot of holes on their roster. Now, we've known the Patriots to take some very questionable picks, and I'm going to stay on the defensive side of the ball, and I'm really between two players right now, and that's Carter and Hunter. I
Ooh.
think Carter might be by far the best like defensive prospect at edge in this draft. But Hunter has hype behind him, and if you're the Patriots, you need something to latch onto because outside of that 1 year with Mac Jones, there just has not been a lot of just good hype around the Patriots. So if I'm the Patriots, I'm taking Travis Hunter. And here's my thing. I'm only having Travis Hunter play cornerback.
Mm.
He might have a couple plays at wide receiver, but he's not this dual playing both sides of the ball. He's playing cornerback, and I think he's going to be a lockup corner for the foreseeable future for the Patriots.
No, I definitely agree with that. Like 1,000% agree with that. He does not have the physical makeup to do what he did in college and the NFL at a high level. I'm sorry, he doesn't. Now, will he be available in spots? As Trey said, yeah, 1,000%.
I think so.
Now,
Yeah.
moving on to the Jags, another team that is they've dealt with a lot of injuries. They just got rid of one of their big tight ends. The team needs again. I'm going to say this a lot about the early picks. They need a lot, but
It's true.
I don't think they need as much on the defensive end as some of the experts have said and other pundits as well. So with that being said, I think you get somebody that could help out with the run game with Tank Bigsby, ETN. I'm talking about an offensive lineman, man. And without further ado, to belabor the point, I'm going Will Campbell.
Yeah, if Will Campbell falls this far, I just think that's a steal
Yeah, man.
for the Jaguars at this point in time. I
Yeah,
really do.
dude. Like, go ahead, get him. Go ahead, get him. It
Now look at the number 6 pick, the
Seahawks.
Raiders. I think Seahawks, the Raiders, baby, the Raiders got number 6 pick.
My fault, y'all. My fault. My fault.
Look,
My fault.
I think if you're the Raiders, you're just looking at best player available, and I don't know if this is necessarily how the draft falls because Abdul Carter is still on the board as the number 1 rated player in the entire draft. I got them taking a
I
defensive
like that.
edge so
I
they
like
can
that.
really shore up their D line, and I think it would be an absolute steal if they can get him at number
The
6.
reason why I like that too is because we don't know what oh my goodness, oh boy, with all the tats and stuff. What is his name? Crosby.
Crosby?
We don't know what
Yeah.
his future lies with the team. So I think that's a solid pick right there. I really do. All right, so our top five: Shador, Cam, Armand, Travis, and Will. Just letting y'all know that's the top five now. All right, moving on to the Jets. This team right here, man. First of all, who is their quarterback?
Justin Fields, baby, he just
That's
signed.
who it is. I was like, I'm forgetting something about this
Yup.
team. Justin Fields.
Yup. Just signed.
I don't think they're lacking in the wide receiver department at all. I think you want to feed Wilson as much as possible there. this draft still has a lot of good players that can make an impact. Don't get it twisted. We ain't even out of the top 10 yet. But somebody that can help the Jets. Honestly, their defense is solid, man. I think what you do with Justin Fields, you get him a tight end. All right, you take the best tight end in the draft right now, which is Tyler Warren, to give him as many options as you can offensively because now it opens it up. You know he can pass. You know he can run. You know Brees Hall is there. So you're giving him so many options on different levels. And that's why I like Tyler Warren.
Okay, now look, the Panthers. There's so many ways the Panthers could go, and all of them could potentially be the wrong direction if your draft pick do not pan out. They have so many holes on their team, to be honest with you. But if I'm them, I'm just going best player, and I think that's Mason Graham at defensive tackle. Sure up your D line, you can stop the run game, and hopefully that'll lead into you finding some athletes in the lower part of the draft so you can shore up your secondary and things like that. Because it all starts at the D line. We saw what the Eagles did to Kansas City in the Super Bowl. If you have a solid D line, you have the foundations of a really good football.
That's very interesting. I did not expect that personally, but I can understand why you went DT, man. I think that as somebody who's watched the Carolina Panthers a lot, I think they could benefit from having another receiver. But that's just me. I think you could, like Trey said, you can go a lot of different ways with this. But yeah, man. Let's move on to the next pick. The Saints, another team I watched a lot last year. Oh my goodness, the Saints. I'm gonna just keep it real direct. We taking an O lineman. Now, do we want to tackle or do we want to guard? The Saints don't seem to be a team that has ever been really run focused. They don't have a running back that could get you 20 plus carries on a consistent basis. So taking a tackle would be the move to me because you don't want a guard that's not going to be able to protect the quarterback. You always want some type of edge protection there. So Kelvin Banks Jr. from Texas, that's who I'm taking.
Okay, now for the Bears. The Bears, I think, have a very solid foundation when it comes to their offense, but nothing helps more than giving your young quarterback more talent. So it might be a reach at this point in the draft, but I have the Bears taking Ashton Gentry, running back from Boise State, to give Caleb Williams some more weapons and potentially give him a run game to take some of that pressure and hopefully not get him to take so many sacks this year.
You said Gentry, right?
Yes, sir.
Gentry,
yes, sir.
Oh, my goodness. That's an interesting one, but with the way that the NFL is using these dynamic duo running back tandems right now, I can see him fitting in well with either Roshan Johnson or who's the other cat they got? Oh my goodness, name slips me. Swift, not Swift. Is it Swift?
Swift. I think they're gonna move off Swift. So
yeah, it is DeAndre Swift.
They're gonna have a two-headed monster. Two-headed monster.
DeAndre Swift. That's who out there, right? Did I get it right?
I think he got traded. Did he not?
They considering it. He ain't been moved yet. Yeah. He's still on the Bears as of right now. As of this recording, March 23rd.
Yeah, that could change at any point in time.
So I like that. Now, woo! San Francisco lost a lot of DBs. Yeah. And you took the DB that, I think would have been crazy early in the draft.
Oh, yeah, it would have been a beautiful fit.
Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
So, man, this is a tough one. Because I really like Malachi. That's how you say that. I know his name look a little different. It look like Malaka, laka. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. I really like Malachi. but I like other corners too and DBs in this draft. Man, this is a tough one. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take Malachi. I like what I seen from Malachi at the combine, and I think he can make plays, whether it be in the run game, in the pass game, and also interceptions as well. So I'm going Malachi Starks, man. Safety, Georgia.
Okay, I was not expecting that if I'm being completely honest with
Here
you.
we go.
But the Cowboys are at a very interesting place because I don't know if the Cowboys were just bad last season because of
hmm
injuries or are some of their star players just becoming old. I also don't know if Jerry Jones is just going to want to draft another sports car type receiver compared to actually rebuilding his defense. And because of that, I got them taking a wide
Mm.
receiver at 12, McMillan from Arizona, a big
Big
target
target, really big
receiver.
target.
You can put next to CeeDee Lamb. Hopefully, Dak comes back healthy next year and they can just score points because Jerry Jones is about entertainment at this point in time. Should he have probably taken a defensive player? In my opinion, yes. But for some reason, I just feel like they're taking an offensive piece, and I think that's going to be McMillan from Arizona.
I can respect that. I really can. Now, moving on to the Miami Dolphins. This is a team that has been a little bit of borderline, not quite being able to get over that hump. As of right now, though, they still have a lot of playmakers on both ends of the ball. So again, I think you go something safe here, get something team building, whether it be an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. With this team, because they like to put up points and their coach is young and aggressive and of that modern era, I think you go offensive. Now, again, I spoke earlier about guard tackle. I think this time you take the best guard off the board, just take Tyler Booker and call it a day. Reason being, I think he's somebody that can play different roles on the offensive line. He doesn't
I
always
agree.
have to be the guard. He can move to the exterior if you need him to as well. So at 6'4", I'll take that, man.
I'm not mad at that at all. You got to keep Tua healthy and upright, and taking the guard is never a bad option. Now, when it comes to the Colts, I think you give both protection and a
Mm.
weapon to Richardson. Richardson is still trying to figure out, how to be an NFL quarterback. So I think you give him a little bit of help on the offensive side of the ball by just taking the best tight end available, and that's Loveland from Michigan. He can block, he's a good route runner, he has good hands, and I just think that's a solid pick to pair with your young quarterback.
Say that one more time, brother.
Loveland, tight end
Mm.
from Michigan, going to the
Mm.
Colts.
You talking about something that I didn't see. Wow, okay. Because I was looking for him on the board, and I'm like, okay, reach down there. You reach down there. Threw me off.
Hey man, the what you got to do as an organization when you have a young quarterback is give him a safety blanket. They already got a really good running back in Taylor. They have a good receiver in Pittman. Give him a tight end that can open up the field a little bit and protect. Best tight end available. Best tight end
I'm
available.
not mad at that. Oh my goodness. The Falcons. This is another team that's, kind of mid level, can't really get over the hump. It's not their offense at all, I can tell you that. I think they have something special brewing right now in that offense. So we're gonna keep that the same, not add a lineman or nothing. We're going straight defense, baby. Now I know what y'all thinking. Why not get a lineman? Because if you get a good lineman, that can create pressure for the DBs to make plays on the ball. However, you got some good corners in this draft that I don't think you want to mess up on,
You
man.
do.
With that being said, we taking JD, man. JD Barron from Texas.
Ooh, okay.
Like that? I like that. I like that,
Texas.
bro.
Okay. Let's see who we got. That's interesting.
While he's thinking about that, run through our top 10 again. We got Shador Sanders, Cam Ward, Armand, don't want to butcher that last name, Travis Hunter, Will Campbell, Abdul Carter, Tyler Warren, Mason Graham, Kelvin Banks, and then Ashton Genty. Woo, that's a fire top 10 right there, y'all. That's fire.
Now at 16,
Cardinals.
the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals, like I said, the teams have found the blueprint of how you win in the playoffs and how you win Super Bowls, and that's putting pressure on opposing
Speak on it.
quarterbacks. And I think because of that, you just go with arguably one of the most athletic defensive players in this draft, and that's Stewart from Texas A&M. Put him on the edge, let him rush the passer, and kind of start to shore up that defense because you have a very good offense. You drafted your wide receiver of the future in Marvin Harrison Jr. last year. You still got Kyler Murray running around looking like he's a little kid out there. So go ahead and get me an edge and Stewart going to the Cardinals.
That's who I wanted to take next.
I know it is. I
Oh,
know it is.
man. That's who I wanted to take next for the Cincinnati Bengals because Lord knows they need all the defense they can get. Oh, my
But man, there's a
goodness.
beautiful pick. There's a beautiful pick waiting for
Oh,
you. I
my
see it.
goodness. Man, wow. Wow, that's the first one of the draft we had so far. I wanted him to come off that. Oh, man. That stumped me. Now I got to think about it. Okay, again, the
Oh,
Bengals' offense right now is on fire. We know for a fact that their offense is not the problem. Defense, however, they just need everything at every level, every position. They need a nickel. They need a mic. They need everything.
they need a little bit of
Look, they need a
everything.
gunner on special teams at this point. All right, man. I know Will Johnson's out there, and he's been on the board for a while, a long time. But again, as I spoke earlier, uh, do you want somebody that can put pressure on the QB, or do you want somebody that can shut down a number one? Wow, Will Johnson is very good. I don't think he's shutting down a number one in this first round draft.
Okay.
So, and I don't. This defense is already bad. Like I know I made the pick a few picks ago with
Very.
JD. I think the Falcons defense is a lot better. Not relatively speaking, a little bit better than the Bengals defense. So that's what made me go with JD. I don't think JD's shutting down a number one, but he can make plays because there are other players within that Falcons defense that can help him out a little bit more than I think the Bengals can. Especially since the Bengals lost, some key defensive players. So I won't belabor the point. I think right here you go conservative and you go ahead and take the best linebacker off the board right now currently, and that's Mr. Walker.
Yeah. That boy's a
You know
dog.
what I mean? I think you just play conservative and get Walker.
Now, at 18, the Seahawks are in a weird situation. You just traded away your number one receiver. You brought in Sam Darnold on a pretty sizable deal. Now, would you like to draft a receiver now? I think they would. However, I think all the receivers at this point in time are going to be a little bit of a reach. So I think this could be the perfect slot to do what the Seahawks do best, and that's draft conservatively. We're taking Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan, which is crazy he fell this far, but
Facts.
I feel like it's just a beautiful place for him to be with, the highlights of Legion of Boom just all around that place. Bring in cornerback, and let's see if we can rebuild this
I
defense.
like that. Again, it was a player that I was debating on taking myself, so I don't blame you at all for taking him. Moving on to the Bucks. Oof. Oh my goodness. Okay, so
Yeah.
I know they had a surprising season, I would say, but it's a far cry from their Super Bowl from what they did. But they started out the gate really hot. I mean, Baker Mayfield plays some of his
Yeah.
best football of
Amazing.
all time.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, again, I think they still have a lot of good pieces. Baker Mayfield isn't old at all. Wide receivers, they have a slew of young guys that can help out some of the veterans and guys that are picking up injuries. So again, I don't have any worries about offense at all. However, when it comes to defense, we want that edge rusher because we still have Winfield back there as a safety, and I trust him to make plays, whether it be picking off the ball, getting a breakup. So we're going to take Mr. Michael Williams from Georgia. Get some pressure.
Yeah,
Get
it
some
makes
pressure.
sense. He fits in the defensive scheme so well. That makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
and I think that depending on the scheme that they want to run, he could possibly move the outside line. Possibly.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to number 20, we have the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
The Broncos, it looks like they're rolling with Bo Nix. Apparently he might be the quarterback of the future, at least
Bo,
for the
bo, bo, bo,
Broncos
bo,
right
bo,
now.
bo.
So, what's the best thing they can do for the young quarterback? Give him some more weapons. And look, this man's just fast. Go ahead and give us Golden, wide receiver
Hey,
from Texas. Give us a
hey,
deep threat.
man. Marvin Mims, your time is up, dog. You've been on the squad long enough. Putting some pressure on you in that deep route position, man. I like it. I
Yep.
like it, man. Speaking of I don't like that I got the number 21 pick with the Steelers because this is one of the most confusing NFL teams of all time.
I
We
agree,
bring
man.
in Russell Wilson, who does fine, but we did not think Justin Fields was going to be as good as he was. So there's drama there. Got rid of Justin Fields. Now we don't know if we bring in Russell Wilson back. Do we take a quarterback? Now we put ourselves in a position to where we played so good that we missed out on the potential franchise quarterbacks there.
Yep. This team is the Indiana Pacers of the NFL. They always good, and that's about it.
I think you can find another. I think you can either bring Russ back, which would be a great idea to me. I don't know what's the hold up there. Um, but we all know their game, man. The name of their game has always been smash mouth football. So you're going to need
Yep.
some type of running back. We haven't had a Big Ben in a long time here. So let's look at the running backs, man. Let's see who we got at running back who I like. Omarion Hampton.
Okay. All right. You reaching? You
I
reaching out here?
am. I am because
Okay.
you can always get a dime a dozen running back, right?
Yep.
Mm,
That's the problem.
mm, mm. I like Omarion Hampton, man. Really good
Okay.
size. Really good size.
Man.
But
Okay.
they still got Warren right there at running back, so let's not reach. But QB would be a reach for me right now too, so I can't go QB. A
Yeah.
defensive line. You know what? Old boy is old. Old as dirt. Cam Hayward. So I think going Harmon would be nice. Derek Harmon from Oregon. Yeah.
I think your pick really depends on what the
Like
Steelers
that's
do.
why I was
So if
like,
they don't
man.
bring back Russ, yeah, they might. I could see Jalen Milrose
hmm
reach. I know
I
now
thought
it's
about it. I
super
thought
like
about it.
super early, but if you don't have a quarterback at all, I don't mind that reach to be honest with you. But I feel you. Defensive tackle,
hmm
okay. When we are looking at the Chargers, everybody's told me over and over how good their quarterback is. And for whatever reason, it's either just not panning out, but what they like to do is run the ball. So let's see what we can look start this. I've been saying it this whole time.
Mm. Let's go
You
through it.
can't do wrong by giving your young quarterback more weapons. Give me Ibuka, wide receiver from Ohio State.
Ooh, ooh, wide receiver.
Maybe now we can really see that upside from their
Ooh.
quarterback.
I'm glad you went with him though. I'm really glad you went
Hey,
with him.
after you win the national championship, I mean, you getting picked. You might be a little too high, but we seen y'all ball out, boys.
Mm-hmm. So, who is this? The Packers, the G-men. Oh my
Pack.
goodness. Um, they in a tough spot right here because I think offensively they are fine. They just have to figure out who is going to be the guy when it comes to wide receiver because they have some wide receivers with plenty of talent. And they won a lot of games last year, 11-6. That's pretty solid. Love is doing great there. I think here you do the smart thing and you go cornerback since we don't know what the future holds for Mr. Jair Alexander. I'm not sure if he's off the team already or not, but it's for sure looking all signs pointing to that. Now, this is the tough part. Safety or corner. I am a big. Mm,
I
mm,
I'm not gonna lie. I still see this man on the board falling. What have we seen over and over is can you get pressure on the quarterback? I think
mm.
I I think James from Tennessee might be your boy. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I know, but they really need a cornerback, man.
I
But
know,
I don't
I
I
know.
don't want to reach on a corner just because they need a corner.
That's
Ah,
we're kind of falling at like, do you draft the best player available or do you draft the
yep,
hole that you have on your
yep,
team?
yep, yep. I think there's a free agent corner out there, or one of the guys currently on the team can step up for sure. With that being said, there's just so many edge rushers and defensive tackles
Yeah.
that you gotta pick one of them, man. And I'm due here. He influenced me on this one. I'm gonna go James, man. James Pierce Jr., Tennessee.
And kinda since you started off going back to defense, I feel like Minnesota has their quarterback of the future in McCarthy. They still got their number one receiver. So I think it's time
I
to go
forgot they got
after.
McCarthy. Wow, you're right.
Yeah, yeah. It's time to go after just like a hard nosed football player, and that's Nick Safety from South
Nice,
Carolina. Let's
nice.
shore up the defense because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of teams are hitting us with deep threats all over the field. So let's go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and shore that up.
Not only that, I think Harrison Smith is again. This is another guy. I don't know how he's able to still do what he do at his age, but it makes sense to bring in a younger safety and kind of be like, all right, brother. You know what I mean? Teach what you taught yourself and what you learned from other vets, to one of these younger guys that has a lot of potential. He's a big safety too, man. I thought
Yeah.
about taking him in the previous spot, but I ended up not going with him just because I think it would be a disservice to him to go to the Packers, whereas him going to the Vikings will be more justified for sure. Now, Tunzel is gone. So
Yeah.
Tunzel was gone on the. Okay, I'm sorry. The Texans. The Texans, everybody's who I'm talking about. Sophomore slump. A lot of injuries on the team. A lot of injuries on the
A
team.
lot of injuries.
I think this is a bounce back year for them. I think they'll be fine. I'm not going to belabor the point. Again, they need somebody like a Josh Simmons who could come in and protect that man.
Okay.
Because again, Tunzel's gone. They need it. They need an offensive lineman. Period.
Fuck.
It
Okay.
fills the
So
hole that they need, and it's also a good player. So yeah, great
I
fit.
feel like at 26, the Rams can really throw a dart, and any defensive player can really help them out.
Legit,
So
legit.
Loki, let's take one of the better linebackers in the draft. Had a great career at Alabama. Give me Campbell
I like it.
going to the Rams at 26.
I like it. The Rams have a slew of good defensive players,
Yeah.
and offensively, we know it don't matter who they have. They've been able to find diamonds in the rough there. So adding another notch in their belt on the defensive end doesn't hurt at all. They have some really good young defensive players, and this would just be another notch in their belt. So, with that being said, moving on. Now we're talking about some real heavy hitters, some real contenders here. None other than the Baltimore Ravens. They have always been one player away,
Yeah, swear.
man. One player away. Um, Now, the thing is, they just re-signed Ronnie Stanley, their tackle. So I don't want to go another offensive lineman because I think that's good enough. However, we've seen on offense to where he needs help and he being obviously Lamar Jackson. Now, the wide receivers that are out there are plenty. There's not a
Yeah.
shortage. Luther Burden from Missouri, he's not the tallest guy at all. But you talk about somebody who can make plays. It could be him. It could be him. But that's the thing with Lamar. He hasn't ever found a true number one. And while Luther
Exactly.
Burden is nice, I don't think he's a number one.
Correct.
Moving on to the tight end spot. Lamar loves his tight ends. I mean,
Yeah, but
absolutely
they got some
adores them.
Pro Bowl tight ends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I already know. I already know. So it's like, that wouldn't make sense either. So it's like, oh my goodness, this is not easy, man. This is not easy because I just feel like going with a defensive player is the safe thing to do for them,
It is.
and they don't need safe. They need a risk that could really ignite the offense because it always comes down to the offense, man. It really does. Wow, this is a tough one. No, I'm taking my time with this, but I'm really trying to think, y'all. Ah, man. You know what? I'm gonna just play it safe because I have nothing else that I could come up with that would make sense, man. I'm going Williams from Ohio State, man. Let's get a DT in here. Let's get a
Okay.
DT. Slow the game pace down. Be able to get a little bit of pressure, not a lot of pressure on the QB, but just playing it safe because there's no real game changer I see right here for the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay. Okay. Now, at this pick for number 28, the Lions, I think it comes down to this. Probably your best defensive player had a pretty serious injury last year. So why not shore up the defensive line so you don't have to rush him back? So let's go take Nick Scruton, edge from Texas
I like that.
A&M.
I like that.
It's going to be a little interesting to see what weight he actually plays at. He did put on a little bit of weight specifically for like the combine, but I think getting him there, hard nose, we want to control the line of scrimmage type of team. I think he think he's the perfect fit at Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit, man. Another team that's won a lot and they just kind of always just one or two away. You know what I'm saying? I know this might come as a shock to people because he has plenty of offensive talent there, and there's no shortage of that, right? And they need some defense, but this guy is somebody that I think could come in and really do damage, man, in the right position. I didn't want to draft him for the Ravens because, again, they already got Zay Flowers and some other guys there. However, Daniels having another guy that could make plays in the intermediate, slot. Luther Burden, man. I think he could
So
be.
I thought you were gonna go this one, and I was gonna ask you
You know
about
what I
this before
mean?
you did it because they just traded for Odu from the 49ers.
Cool.
What's his name? He plays all the positions. What's his name? Bo. What's his name?
Look it up.
49. What's his name? Yeah, Debo Sanders. Samuel. They just traded for
Wait a
him.
minute. Oh,
Yeah.
no way. I missed
So
that.
yeah. So you already got arguably slot
You
receiver,
see?
running back.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. You see, that's what the vibe was I was going for. That's crazy. Wow. Oh man. Oh man. I can't redo my pick at all. Oh my goodness. We would have to restart all over. Oh man, that's terrible.
It's fine. You
No.
know what? Organizations mess up. Sometimes you take the
No.
wrong pick. Sometimes you draft the wrong
No,
people.
dude, that's exactly the type of.
I
I
know it
was
is.
like, man, oh wow, that's
When you
crazy.
was saying it, I was like, you just got a person on your team that fits that exact player.
I promise you, I don't know how that one slid me. I did not know that Debo. I knew he moved, but I didn't know where he moved to. Wow, that's crazy. Oh man, that
That's funny.
whoops. Oh man,
Well, since you took a player that you already got on your roster, I don't mind it for the rest of the league.
chat,
Um,
chat, chat. Please light me up in the comments for that. Please light me up. Please light me up. Light me up. Light me up.
so
Oh
we
man.
gonna keep it
Moving
we gonna
on.
keep it simple. We gonna keep it real simple.
Oh
When
my
it
goodness.
comes to the Bills, I think it just comes down to shoring up their defense. You can find wide receivers on the market. Some free agents can come in, but taking Chevon, cornerback from
Mm-hmm.
East Carolina, I like the fact that he's taller, had a good 40 time, 6'1", plays the corner, can be up in man coverage. I like that pick. Can he be on an island by himself? Maybe not early on in his career, but let's go ahead and shore up the cornerback position for the Bills.
Yeah, despite the fact that he's, coming off an injury, like you said, his size being 6'1", his length, having some good wingspan there, I like it. I like it for the Bills, man. Okay, moving on. Now, this is an interesting spot to be in because, again, you're obviously a top tier team, 15-2 last year. Um, you don't need a lot. yeah, yeah,
I think we know exactly what the Chiefs need. That's
yeah.
just me though.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna wait on that. You can speak your piece, but this is my pick. All right, this is
Look,
my pick.
we know exactly what they need. We watch the Super Bowl. We know exactly what these men need.
Listen. Chill. All right, we're just gonna keep it very simple. Somebody come in and help right off the bat. Not a whole lot needed. Go ahead, and take Zabel, man, Mr. Gray.
Yeah, and exactly. Look, they sacked this man. It seemed like every single play. They need their offensive line needs rebuilt. Like if the receivers when healthy, beautiful. Quarterback, the goat. They need to keep that man upright. So yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
makes perfect sense. It makes perfect
Mm-hmm.
sense. Now, when it comes to the Eagles, there's a lot of places you can go. You're the reigning champions. I feel like they'll probably trade out of this pick and trade into the second round, if I'm being honest with you. But they probably just take best defensive player available because I mean that's what they live and die on
Low
is
key.
just
Low
the
key.
defensive line getting to you with only four. So go ahead and give me Walter from Old Miss. Defensive line is already stout, but why not just continue to double down on what you know is already working?
There it goes, man. There it goes.
in minus, you taking a player that you already got on your roster. I feel like it wasn't bad. First mock draft for the NFL. I feel like it wasn't a bad draft.
Breaking news: Debo Samuels retires from the NFL.
Decided he wanted to go play rugby in Australia. He's not in the NFL no more, baby.
Oh man, no, me taking Luther Burden was, oh my goodness, that was a fumble by me. But here you go.
It be like that.
My fault. I didn't mean to cut you off. Here we go. We got 1 through 32. Obviously, the eyesore is Luther Burden, but outside of that, man, I think this is a pretty solid draft board. I know a lot of people may agree or disagree. I'd love to hear it, man. Put it in the comments. Let us have it. What y'all think? Go ahead, Trey.
Yeah, I feel like, this is my personal opinion, I feel like an NFL draft is much harder than an NBA draft.
What?
Because there's so many more holes you have to fill,
Boy.
and you just basically have to be okay with saying, hey, that one side of the ball is just going to be hurting this year. Let's get our one player.
Facts.
So,
Facts.
so my hot take for this video is going to be, I really think the Chicago Bears take Gentry, the running back from Boise State. I think he has a phenomenal year. They're going to get the ball out of Caleb's hands a lot. They're going to be a lot of quick throws, and I really think he's going to have a standout rookie season. Will he have a Hall of Fame type career? I'm not saying that, but I think he's going to have a very solid rookie year alongside Caleb, and we're really going to see that sophomore kind of get up from Caleb in this next year. So that's my hot take for this video, my boy.
We love it. We love hot takes, man. That's what we do.
And just like that, another video in the books. My name's Trey. This is Denzel. Really hope that you liked our mock draft, because the draft is coming up in a few more days, and we will be live for the draft on Thursday. So really hope that you can come along with us, watch the draft, tell us what you think of your picks. But if you are somebody that's new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified every time we post a video. And leave a comment in the comment section down below of how good or bad you think we did in this draft. Don't look at the number 29th pick that went to Washington. GMs take blunders every now and then. Don't worry about that. But otherwise, how do you think we did? Really appreciate y'all stopping by, listen to the end, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.